Okay, this is Samsung model RF267ABRS. I've seen others online that have mentioned problems with water collecting down here under what would be under the crisper tray. We've had that issue as well. It'll either be liquid water or it'll actually freeze up and it'll be hard to pull the tray out. I haven't taken off the back part yet, but I believe we have a screw here, one there, and then there is an actual tab right here, I believe, above that arrow, and I'll have to pull off in order to get this entire back part off in order to reach that evaporator piece that appears to not be operating correctly. Okay, I've used a flathead screwdriver just to pop off this piece that's covering that bolt, which you'll have to do. It's right underneath the twin cooling deal, and of course there's the other two bolts, one there and one there. Those are all Phillips head screws. Okay, I've taken off the bottom two, and I've also unscrewed this one. I think there's probably a fourth screw right down here at the bottom that is also going to have to come off in order to get this entire piece off. As you can see, we have ice still on the fridge here. And I mentioned it earlier, but I of course have turned off the circuit breaker of the fridge, which you would need to do before you start doing any work on your fridge. Okay, after loosening those two screws, this whole metal piece, which generally supports the divider in your fridge, it just comes right off, and we'll see if the back part will come off or whether it has to defrost a little while. If it's, I know there are latches back there, so you have to be very gentle when taking this off, and also you may want to give it time to defrost a little while, because if the ice is back there stuck to the styrofoam, I've seen elsewhere where it could tear the styrofoam. So sometimes it may be better, I guess, to wait a little while, let the fridge heat up a little bit and melt some of that ice back there. But we'll see if it'll come right off. Okay, so I've gently pulled on it, and the bottom of it has a little leeway, but it certainly, you can see the ice is, even on the side, is starting to, well, that one's still stuck on there pretty good. There was a piece down here that came off. So since it's not readily coming off very easily, I'm gonna and I can feel some ice right here. I'm going to give it a little while to let some of that ice melt so that it doesn't screw up the back of the styrofoam, and it'll be easier to take off. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes or so. I took the opportunity to clean all of the rest of the fridge stuff. Let's see if this thing... Okay, so these ice came right off, so hopefully the back panel will do the same. Okay, let's see. And I know there are some clips back here somewhere, so you have to be very gentle and careful to find those clips and get them to pop. It's pulling out a little more than it was before, but it's still not popping off very easily. Feels like the bottom part is pretty good. Yeah, it still sounds like it has some ice back there, and a little bit of condensation under there where some of it is melted, so it may just take a little while. So we'll give it a little more time and see. Oh, and so I just noticed you can kind of see on the sides, right here, there's two arrows, one here and one up here, that show you where the clips are on the side of that. I was able to pull off the left side, but the right side, also has two arrows. Here's one, and here's the other one. But it's still stuck on there pretty good. I can feel the ice back there, and of course this was the side that had the ice on the wall, so that side is probably pretty well frozen back in there for now, so I'm not going to try to force anything. I'm just going to let it, nature take its course. I have heard you can, blow a hair dryer through here or through those vents to kind of speed up the process, but I'm not going to resort to that just yet. I'll just kind of let it melt and loosen up on its own. Okay, so after it's been right at an hour and finally melted enough back here for me to get the two. There's actually 3 of them on here. I guess earlier I didn't see the 3rd arrow at the top. And actually 1, 2, 3 arrows, and you can see the 3 clips on there. And there's some wires up here that'll have to be disconnected. So I'm going to bend it back like this and just going to unhook those wires back there. Okay, so to get those wires off, you squeeze on the 2 sides. There's 2 things tabs you can squeeze, and you just press those down, and you can see it moves those tabs up, and you can just pull that one off. On this yellow one, there's actually only a tab on the one side, so you just press that. As you can see, there's a hook. The hook goes up and you can just slide it off. It looks like. Now the drain hole is right, this is the little tab that's supposed to keep the ice dried out or melted. As you can see, I can't even see the hole in there because it's still full of ice. So we're going to let that melt some more, and I'll probably use some boiling water to get rid of that here in a little bit. This is what it should look like once you take that cover off. Okay, so I went to the local hardware store and got some 14 gauge solid copper wire. It has plastic tubing on it, which of course we'll have to strip off. I also got a heavier gauge solid copper. I don't think I'm going to use the bigger one just because it's so, you can bend it fairly easily, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it around like I want to. I'm going to heat up some water on the stove. I got my turkey baster ready to go to help melt some of that ice in there and make sure the line is clear so that we can stick our copper down in there once we're ready. Okay, so I've used the trusty wire strippers to strip off some of the smaller pieces of the copper. As you can see, they're smaller than that big piece I bought, and it's fairly easy to do. You just select the right gauge and you just strip it. Okay, we're back in the fridge. Also, while I was at the store, I bought this handy work light so we can have a better view of what's going on down here. As you can see, it's still solid. All of that is solid ice, which means that the drain, which is right under here, was clogged up. It allowed the water to back up, and then it gets solid, and then eventually melts over and goes down into either your crisper drawer or it slides down underneath there. And you can kind of see where water's been running down from various locations, and all of this is iced up, of course. Let's see. This thing that goes around, that's the heater element, and it apparently kicks on every once in a while, heats up. It's supposed to heat this up and keep the ice from, or keep the water from freezing right here where the drain plug is. But as you can see, it's kind of far up from, actually this thing is actually even bent up. So I think what happened was the ice, as it went up, it bent the tongue part of it up. So that's my problem. It hasn't been working properly because obviously the hot part is bent up and it's not even getting close to melting that ice. Now, we've had this fridge since '09. It is 16 now, so about 7 years. So this has happened over quite a bit of time. But that's what we're going to fix here today, and hopefully make it a permanent fix. Okay, to try to speed this process up, I've got my hot water. I'm going to suck some of it up into the good old turkey baster. And then I'll go ahead and put it in here to get this ice to melt faster. And so it's pretty liquid right now. You can definitely see the hole in there where water's supposed to drain. Now down in there I can feel it's full of ice. So even though we've melted all the ice up here, it's still not draining because there's ice down there. So we're going to have to keep melting. We've still got some ice melt going on. See, it's all water up there, but there's ice stuck down in there. So what I've been doing is periodically sticking more very hot water with the turkey baster, squirting it down there. Okay. It took a little while, and what I did was I kept picking out all the not so hot water and with the turkey baster, the same way I'm putting it in, I would suck it back out and then put in hot water again. But eventually it finally melted the ice in there, and now it's draining. So I'm going to put some more hot water in there just to make sure everything is cleared out down in that drain, although it's draining perfectly now. And then we'll move on to the next step. And I'll put in some more aluminum tape here, just because I think there was some there before. And what I saw a guy do online is he kind of measured his copper wire, just kind of see how far down into that drain it would go. And then there's actually room behind where this thing clips on, where you can slide that wire in. And so I'm going to wrap it around there and then stick the wire down the hole so that when this heater comes on, it will conduct a little bit of heat down into the hole so it won't ice up down in there. Okay, and so this is what my finished product looks like. See, the wire is through here and it's kind of going down in there. The way I had to do it is this thing, you can actually slide it along here, and so I put the wire in sideways and kind of bent it down and slid over as I was feeding the wire through the hole. I used some needle nose pliers, of course, and that helped a lot. And so now you can see we have some method of heat reduction that can go down into that drain and hopefully keep this from icing over. And I may make this look a little bit prettier, but that's the gist of the fix for this, or at least what I've seen online. Well, time will tell, of course, whether it actually works or not. And then that piece of ice that was in here actually slid back down there, so I'm not sure where that went, but hopefully it'll just take care of itself. Okay, then when you're ready to hook the wires back up, in case you didn't keep an eye on how they came out, you'll see in this top one up here, there's only 3 metal plugs in there. And then when you go to the clip you install, there's only 3 places where you can clip in. So it's pretty much idiot proof. You just line up those 3 with the 3 that you can see in there, and then on the top, of course, you know that the hook part went to the left. So make sure the hook part goes to the left when you plug in the yellow wire on the top plug. Okay, so everything is back on. It's running, it's cooling, and time will tell if our fix worked. So we will. I will check in and certainly issue comments and let you know if it worked. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's my first one. And good luck with your own repairs. Thanks.